Hi there, in this video we're going to go over how to find the area of circles. Your objective for today is to find the area of circles and to use the area formula to solve real-world problems. So some important vocabulary that you need to know. Area means the number of square units that are inside of a shape. In this case, we're talking about circles. A semicircle means half of a circle, and a quarter circle means 1/4 of a circle. Before you could find the area, you have to know what the area formula is. So the formula for area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. But be careful, r squared is not the same thing as saying 2r. R squared means r times r. For example, 5 squared equals 25, whereas 2 times 5 equals 10. So make sure you know the difference between r squared and 2r. In our next example, we have find the area given the radius, use 3.14 for pi. So we're going to start with our area formula, area equals pi r squared. Then we are going to plug in our numbers. So 3.14 we're plugging in for pi. We're plugging in the radius, which is 4 for r, and it's squared. So I'm just going to expand this 4 squared to be 3.14 times 4 times 4. And when you do that, when you multiply them all, you end up getting 50.24 meters squared. Our next example has find the area given the diameter. Use 3.14 for pi. So now here's our circle. We're given the diameter. We need the radius though, because our formula calls for the radius. So just recall that the radius is half of the diameter. So half of 12 would be 6. So area equals pi r squared. So we're going to do 3.14 times 6 squared. And let's expand that 6 squared to be 6 times 6. And so that means 3.14 times 6, that'll get you 113.04, and this should really be centimeters squared. All right, here are another 2 examples. This says now find the exact area of the circle, and we're writing in terms of pi. So looking at this first circle, our radius is 5, so we're going to plug in 5 for r. So pi is staying as pi because it says write in terms of pi. R, we're plugging in 5, and it's squared. So let's expand that. Pi times 5 times 5, which is pi times 25, or 25 pi. In our next example, we have a circle with a diameter of 20, which would mean the radius would then be 10, because you'd have to take half of the diameter. So let's plug in our numbers. We're plugging in 10 for r, and we're keeping pi. So we have pi times 10 squared, which is pi times 10 times 10, or pi times 100, or it's just 100 pi. So the area of this circle is 100 pi, and I have feet here. It should be meters squared. Okay, and in our next slide, we have find the area of a semicircle, use 3.14 for pi. So here's our semicircle. If you can remember, semicircle is half of a circle. So there are 2 ways that you can do this. You could take the regular area formula, area equals pi r squared, and you can multiply it by a half, which is what I have here. Or you could take it, area equals pi r squared, and you can just divide whatever you get by 2. So I'm going to assume that most of you guys are going to use the second method, but I'm going to just show you both here. So in this first method, we have area equals half times pi times r squared. So half times 3.14 times 5 squared. Remember, we have 5 here for the radius because the diameter is 10. So the radius is half of 10. So let's expand that 5 squared to be 5 times 5. And when we plug in all those numbers, we end up getting 39.25 centimeters squared. In our next example, or not in the next example, I should say in the second method, which is what, like I said, I'm expecting you guys, I'm assuming that you guys are going to do this one for the most part. You would just take the regular area formula, which is 3.14 times 5 squared, and just divide it by 2. So 3.14 times 5 divided by 2. The numerator ends up being 78.5 divided by 2, which would then get you that 39.25. So whichever way you want to do it, it doesn't matter. Either way is correct. In our next example, we have find the area of the quarter circle. So if you can remember from the beginning, a quarter circle is 1/4 of a circle. So you either multiply the area of the circle formula by 1/4 or you divide it by 4. So I'm just going to show you the second method, but like I said, you could multiply the area formula by 1/4 and still get the answer. So area equals pi r squared divided by 4. So we're going to plug in our radius, which is 4. So 3.14 times 4 squared divided by 4. Our numerator ends up being 3.14 times 4 times 4 divided by 4. So then you get 50.24 divided by 4, and that, when you solve it, is 12.56 centimeters squared. All right, so in this question, we're going to apply what we know. So the floor will have a circle design with a 20-foot radius. The material of the floor will cost about $3.25 per square foot. About how much will the floor cost? So first we have to figure out how much area is being used, and then we need to figure out the total cost of the floor. So first you need to figure out how much material you need, and then the total cost of that material. So let's use our area formula. Area equals pi r squared. We know that the radius is 20, so 3.14 times 20 squared, which is 3.14 times 20 times 20, which will end up getting us 1,256 square feet. So once we get our area, this is the number of square feet. It costs $3.25 per square foot. So we are going to multiply 1,256 times 3.25 to get our total of 4,082. In the next example, we have the circumference of a circle is 250 feet. What is the area of it? Use 3.14 for pi. So, in this case, we know that the formula for area is area equals pi r squared. But we're not given the radius, though. We're given the circumference. Is there any way to find the radius given the circumference? Well, let's recall how to find the radius given the circumference, right? We learned this. C equals 2 pi r. We know that C is 250. We just keep 2. Pi, we're making it 3.14. And the radius is what we're solving for. So we get 250 is equal to 6.28 r. And in order to solve for r, you would divide both sides by 6.28. And then you end up getting 39.8 feet. Oh, sorry, 39.8 feet is your radius. Once you have the radius, then you can solve for the area, because now you can plug in the radius in for the area. So area equals pi r squared. So we're going to plug in 39.8 into the radius. So 3.14 times 39.8 squared. Let's expand that. 3.14 times 39.8 times 39.8. And we end up getting our area to be 4,973.89 feet squared. So just some concluding thoughts. The formula of area of a circle. So area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. The area of a semicircle is half of that. The area of a quarter circle is 1/4 of that. And if you are given the circumference and you need to find the area, you must find the radius first using the circumference formula. All right, that's all for area of circles. I hope this helped you learn about area. Thank you for watching.